What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I am the Renegade J.J. Williams, and today I'm going to be talking about the 2004 Tom Hanks heist comedy, The Ladykillers, starring Tom Hanks, Irma P. Marlon Wayans, J.K. Simmons, George Wallace, Jason Weaver, Greg Grunberg, and Bruce Campbell. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me today on yet another new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I stated in the opening, I'm going to be talking about the Tom Hanks heist comedy, The Ladykillers. This is probably, honestly, one of my least favorite Tom Hanks movies that I've seen. But it's still not so bad that I can call it a bad movie, because Tom Hanks owns his role as Professor Dorr. And the supporting cast is just so funny in their roles. Like I stated, the film's a heist flick, much in the vein of Tower Heist or the Ocean's 11 series, where a group of individuals, each with their own specialty, their own area of expertise, come together to pull off some kind of big robbery. The leader of the group is Professor Dorr, who one day shows up at Marva Munson's house, attempting to rent a room. She's had an ad in the newspaper. I think she said it's $25 a week. She agrees to allow him to rent the room and even to utilize her cellar in order to rehearse an early music ensemble. We're talking music from like the Renaissance times. And all of these other actors in the film, Marlon Wayans, J.K. Simmons, they all help comprise the gang that's going to be pulling off this heist. And the cellar has an exposed wall, which, when it gets tunneled out, will lead to the vault of a nearby riverboat casino. And this is the target of the heist. The rest of the team includes Lump, the muscle, Garth, the explosives tech, the general, who's a chain-smoking tunneling expert, and Gawain, who's the foul-mouthed inside man. And every night, as they try to tunnel through and dig their hole, the dirt they remove is taken to a nearby bridge, thrown over the bridge onto a passing-by barge. Now, of course, in every heist movie, there's got to be your hiccups. Some kind of obstacles that the team has to overcome in order to pull off this grand heist. Gawain gets fired from his job at the casino. So he gets so mad that he even wants to go back and kill the casino owner, but instead Professor Dorr talks him into, apologizing. He comes in with candy, slides him $100, gets his job back. Garth accidentally blows off one of his fingers, and Marva's cat, Pickles, runs off with the finger. The local sheriff stops by to pay Ms. Munson a visit and almost catches the group. But despite all the setbacks, the team is successful, able to pull off their heist. But before the team can get away completely now, Ms. Munson discovers the plot. Biggest hiccup of them all. And she tells Professor Dorr, she gives him an ultimatum. Return the money and go to church with her on Sunday so that the band can perform for her church. or she's going to turn them all in, and they're all going to have to do jail time. Unwilling to surrender, the gang decides that they've got to now kill Miss Munson. They draw straws to determine who's going to get the task. Gawain pulls the short straw. Goes in there, creeps up on her, he's about to kill her. Then he realizes he can't do it because she reminds him too much of his mom. He goes back, tells the guys that he can't do it. Garth and Gawain start fighting. As a result, when the two men fall to the ground, the gun fires, shoots Gawain, kills him. So the guys take the body, throws it over the bridge there onto the passing by barge. Then Garth decides he wants to get greedy and steal the whole sum of money for himself and his girlfriend. General kills him with a garrote wire, and they throw the body off of the bridge onto a passing barge. This now leaves three men: General, Lump, Professor Dorr. They draw straws again, because still got to get rid of Miss Munson. This time it's the general that pulls the straw. He goes to do it, gets startled by the cuckoo clock going off. Now, Miss Munson doesn't allow smoking in her house. So every time Miss Munson comes by, the general would stick his cigarette in his mouth so that she wouldn't see the smoke or anything, because he's such a chain-smoking fool. Well, the cuckoo clock goes off. He ends up swallowing his cigarette because he gets startled. Trips over the cat, falls down the stairs to his death. Once again, Lump and Dorr take the general's body, toss it off the bridge onto the barge passing by. At this point, Lump's had a change of heart. He wants to do what Ms. Munson asked: return the money and go to church. Professor Dorr refuses. He's put too much into this heist to just write it off at this point. Lump pulls a revolver, but the chamber is empty. Doesn't go off. When Lump looks down the barrel, ends up shooting himself with the next bullet. Falls off the bridge onto the barge. The whole bridge barge thing is just a running gag if you haven't figured this out by now. Now, all by himself, Dorr sees a raven. And being a fan of Edgar Allan Poe and poetry, he starts to recite some poetry. Now, the raven ends up dislodging the head off of a grotesque gargoyle type statue, falls, cracks Dorr on the head, causes him to fall over the bridge, and his cape gets caught, jerking him and essentially hanging him off of the bridge. Snaps his neck, he's dead instantly. Cape ends up tearing, and once again his body tumbles, falls right onto the barge. Now Miss Munson goes down to her basement and finds the stolen money. She feels like the criminals have fled, left it behind, so she calls the police, reports it. They think she's crazy. They essentially tell her to keep the money. So she decides to donate it to the Bob Jones University, which is a Bible college that she admires. And the movie ends with Pickles, with Garth's severed finger from earlier, dropping it over the bridge onto the barge, just to remind us that this is a passing joke. I don't know. Maybe I just don't get the humor in this movie. I like to think that I do. I like a lot of different comedies, and I like a lot of Tom Hanks films. Like I said, I own this movie. This is at least the second, if not the third time I've watched it. But I just can't get into it. I like the Ocean's movies. I like Tower Heist. I'm sure I'll get to those eventually on the show. But there's just something that doesn't click for me about this film. And I'm not really sure what it is. I can't even say it's the actors, because obviously I love Tom Hanks, so that's a given. Irma P. Hall, I liked her in Soul Food. J.K. Simmons, I like his J. Jonah Jameson in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. Marlon Wayans, been a fan of his for years, ever since In Living Color. And Above the Rim and Mo Money and so on and so on. I could just list off a bunch of Marlon Wayans movies. The Scary Movie franchise that he did with Sean. I just find him hilarious. But the film just falls flat for me. I give this 1 out of 5 stars. It's just the way it is. It's definitely at the bottom of my Tom Hanks pile, but it's not a bad movie. I know people that love this film. It just doesn't do it for me. What do you guys think of the Ladykillers? Let me know. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. As always, let's go to social media. Let's start getting those hashtags trending. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios. Hashtag Renegades Reviews. Hashtag Renegade Returns. And of course, the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans. We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade J.J. Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatBoyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today. Make sure you do what the commercial just told you. Get out there, go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. All one word. Support the Casa D18 Brethren. Get yourself your very own Renegade J.J. Williams shirt. Get yourself the Dads on Wrestling shirt. Get yourself the Statboy Sports Bar and the hashtag StatBoyApproved shirt. Get yourself the Meachamania shirts, the Talk Wrestling shirt, the Jeff Meacham Network shirt. Support us. We greatly appreciate it. Next month on the channel, we're going to be featuring romantic comedies and Black History Month. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's to come right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Lots of good stuff, as you can see. Like I said, from February 1st to the 14th, we're going to be taking a look at chick flicks, romantic comedies, those type of films. From February 15th through the 28th, we're going to be doing Black History Month and movies that feature and tell the stories of Black history. Everything from Beaches, Pretty Woman, Breakfast at Tiffany's, to 42, to Roots, to Boys in the Hood. Lots of good content coming up in February. Stuff that you are definitely not going to want to miss. Until then, thank you very much for joining me here on... Where is it? Thank you for joining me here on Renegades Reviews, exclusively on the Casa D18 Studios channel. And make sure you join me tomorrow when I will be closing out Tom Hanks month with The Terminal, starring Tom Hanks and Catherine Zeta-Jones. So until then, thank you for joining me. And I will see you guys tomorrow right here on Renegades Reviews.